Lemon Amiga presents a Playguide video review. Sit back and enjoy the show.
Hello there once again, welcome to another Lemon Amiga Play Guide and Review. This time we're checking out King of Chicago, developed by Master Design Software and published by Cinemaware in 1987. On the title screen we get a nice purple font intro, King of Chicago, and some music as well, and our pointer seems to be a moth or a butterfly. We can start the game or quit it, so let's start a new game. At the start of the game, it will throw us into a brand new scenario. This is, I think it said October 1931. The king is dead. Al Capone is out of the picture, so that leaves the door open for this guy. He's called Pinky, and Pinky is a wannabe gangster on the streets of presumably Chicago. At the very start, we don't have any powers or any influence whatsoever, and we'll have to take out the local kingpin in Chicago. So Pinky rehearses, and this didn't happen in my warm-up try. This is completely new ground for me. This didn't happen, so things happen at random in this game, and sometimes weights and measures influence things to happen, and no two games play exactly the same, which means you can play this game over and over and it will be different. So at the moment I'm rehearsing what I'm going to say to the big guy, and in rehearsals I simply blamed the assassination on a neighbouring gang. We begin in the north side headquarters. That's the easiest one to take over, simply because we only have to shoot the boss. And there is also a sidekick known as Ben. He's the strong arm, and if we can get Ben on our side, then that means we can take out the boss pretty easily. And in my warm-up try I managed to convince Ben that it wasn't my fault, it was simply the other gangsters. So let's see what I decide to do. What's going on? I think I've heard everything I need to know about this particular conversation, so it moves to the cutscene. Just like a movie, it opens up with a title picture and a cue card, and Alfred Hitchcock started his career putting cue cards on the screen, so it's my dirty work. I've got to do it at some point, and so all gangsters never die, they simply get retired. So hopefully we move on to another cutscene, just like it came from the desert. We'll get a gun to wield, and it's not very hard to take this guy out. It looks like at this point we're chickening out of shooting him, we're simply plugging him for information, and that's ambitious, but it's not going to get the job done at this point. So what's on my mind? I've no idea. What's on his mind? What does it matter? He's going to be dead soon. So it means I'm going to need you with me when I take over the South Side. So, well, I don't really want to hang around with this guy, but it looks like we're negotiating our way through to another scene without actually killing him. Well, it doesn't look like I'm going to force him to retire. Let's do this the hard way. And now we get control of the gun with the mouse. And all we need to do is to fire that on target. And that's this section over. So it looks like you don't have to kill him, you can try to lean on him to force him to retire, or any number of other things. This game is completely random. So let's talk to Ben about this, the bald guy, and he's accusing me of shooting him. What can I do about that? Well, I can shoot him back, or I can try to bring him around. Let's try to keep him on our side, because I don't think shooting Ben is a great idea, and I don't think he'll really come into his own apart from random scenarios later on, so we really don't need him as an ally, but I want to keep him around for the sake of this review. Looks like we've been goaded into shooting our friendlies, and what does that mean? Maybe we are casting irons right at the beginning of the game, and yes, that is possible. So it looks like we've blown our chances by shooting up the place. The end. So that returns us all the way back to the start again, and this came on 2 discs, and if you had extra memory it would actually memorise the second disc into memory, which means these scenes pop up straight away. So we're still in the early 1930s, the old 1920s gangsters are out of here. So here we are again, facing the old man. We are Robocop. Let's get in there with the guns and shoot him up and get on hopefully with this adventure. Now we have to hit the barbershop by lobbing a bomb towards it, and if we are too slow lobbing the bomb, then we'll be too slow, and it's actually quite difficult, that bit, and I've never actually successfully done it. So, what do you think? Try it again? Or what? Do it. Come on, I need some practice, because this is the end game. We need to blow something up at the end, the Southsiders, so we need to go for more practice. Aim for the second story windows. Let's try that again, and maybe out here. Well, no, it was actually too late again. I've no idea how you aim for stuff in this game. Maybe we get a pointer, maybe we don't. I don't think so. And so that's my second chance blown at trying to remove the Southsiders. So he's just a punk in a hurry with more gun than brains. Pinky had something, just not enough of it. It looks like we've been killed again. My baby, boo-hoo-hoo. So we could end the movie and give up right now. Let's start a new movie. So we've been blown up twice from the start of it. This didn't go well. And of course in the rehearsals I went straight through it. So let's try that again. And this time let's be a lot braver, pluck up a lot more courage, blow out the bad guy. And let's start this game. This is an interactive movie, so that means it's going to start different. So when is it? About the time. I'm going to wait. I'm going to join the bomb. I'm going to wait. Well, looks like I'm going to wait in this particular case, which means we're waiting around again. Tomorrow. I'm going to kill him tomorrow. Mañana. The north side is howling tonight. Capone's gone. Chicago is wide open. Treading treacherously along now on our yet brand new scenario, and the henchmen are talking to each other, and you can see that we are listening in on the conversation again. Is it good to listen to this, or is it not? Let's try and enroll Ben in this situation, and let's try to talk him into our plan before we shoot him, and that will mean he won't pin the finger on us when the time comes. Yeah, is Ben a traitor or not? Are you going to shut your mouth, or do I have to shut it for you? Well, let's see what I decide to do. Ben the bald guy. Wait a minute. Spit it out, kid. Spit it out, kid. What do you want? I'm going to bump off the old man. What do you think about it? Well, come on, don't beat around the bush. I better beat around the bush a bit. Just tell him. It's better to tell the truth and say, look, I am the kingpin. I've got a big set and I've got 6 bullets to prove it. Spit it out. Just tell me what it is. I think the game definitely rewards you by not mincing around. You're nobody, Pinky. You're absolutely nothing. So that didn't go well, judging by the reactions of that guy. We are in his bad books. I don't want to offend the guy by offering him any money, but it looks like we're going to do that anyway. Here's some more money, Ben. Do you really want the money? And the clue is in the title. Old men get retired. One way or the other. It's either him or me. So I've tried to bribe the friendlies, the gang. Now's my chance to plug him. I'm the boss now, music to my ears. Now that we've got the friendlies on our side, he's right, I can't back out now. Whatever it is, go get some sleep, Ben. At this time, we get into moral dilemma territory. Do we level with the guy? Do we lie to these people? And sometimes it takes it out of our hands, and sometimes it doesn't. So here we go. It's the Northside coup. Callum takes gang hell. Now we finally get to our desk, and on our desk we'll find a book that's got all the numbers in it, and we can award ourselves as the boss any amount of money, and we can take away the money from our girlfriend any amount as well. We've already agreed 40,000 with Ben, so I'm not going to jeopardise that, and everything else I'm going to leave on standard for now. We can even increase our men or decrease our men to get ourselves some funds. And you would think that getting funds in this case is the major thing, and so I'm not going to give myself virtually anything at this point. We don't really need anything from that, but I'm going to increase the taxes on a few things and hope that that squeezes a bit more cash out of people. If we want to talk to our girlfriend when things are cooled down, then we can click on the photograph on our desk. That means that our girlfriend picture pops up and we can talk to her, and she's someone to listen to, because if you don't keep her sweet, then she'll move to the Southsiders, and the game has multiple endings where she'll move to the South Side and you can shoot the Southside boss in order to get the girlfriend back. But unfortunately, one of the ways to get through this game is to starve her out and don't give her any money whatsoever. That means that the game's much easier and you get tons of money, but unfortunately there is a third ending where if you get rid of everybody on the map and leave her broke, then she'll give you a really nasty ending where you'll end up broke. So it's absolutely imperative to give her some amount of money, otherwise she won't defect to the enemy. But I wasn't aware of any of that when I played this game, and so I'm trying the starving her out route by not paying her any cash, and that should mean that she'll get stroppy, but hopefully she won't pester me for all those added luxuries that come with that. So you can see the graphics on offer are great, and the art is great, and cutscenes as well. Sometimes it gives us some animation. So back at the hive now, what's going on with the gang? It's January 1932, and back at the desk for a section. We're now talking to Ben again, and we better get on with it. How to take that first giant step to the Capone throne. Santucci is the guy that runs the south side, and we've got north side already tied up. So all we need to do now is to get the east side and the west side on our side, and then once we have the strength we can attack the south. The south is the strongest, and you definitely have to lob bombs, and so you have to be good at doing that. In the meantime, a local senator's shown up, and sometimes bribing the local senator will get us off any fines and anything to do with the law. But if you bribe him too much, he'll defect and we'll end up in jail anyway. So it's another moral dilemma. What do? Do we fund this guy, or do we leave him out on a limb? And we made a critical mistake. We were supposed to lean on him then to make sure he didn't defect, but we didn't do that. We took a Mr. Nice Guy approach, and nice guys finish last in this game. So that has set up something for the future. And it's those kind of decisions that you have to watch out for playing this game. And I really do like the facial expressions. That was created with custom facial expression software, which was developed by the creator Doug Sharp, known as Drawmation. And I've never heard of Drawmation before, and maybe it was only used on this one title. But L.A. Noire, this game definitely reminds me of, with the facial expressions and the well done graphics. Although it might surprise you to learn that this thing was originally designed for the for the Apple II GS and the Atari ST, I think, which came out in 1986. And that was ported to the Amiga in 87, and DOS got their own version in 1988. At the moment, I'm choosing to spend all my money on hired help because I want a big gang around me if I want to throw my muscle around. We'll leave the same on all the rest, and as long as I have a bankroll, that's fine. So you can see W, the West, has already been taken over, so let's click on the next one. Chosen not to lob the bomb, we've chosen to use the Tommy gun, and hopefully that will be a lot easier. We get a mouse-driven section where we're supposed to shoot all the bad guys, but if you shoot one innocent hostage, or if you've missed too many bad guys, then that's it. On to June 1932, we've squandered some of our cash, but we have got some money coming in, and because we're not paying Lola, it is coming in, but we don't really need that cash for too much, as long as we have enough men. So let's put some more effort now into trying to get that east side. Chicago was coded by Doug Sharp, and Doug Sharp is not very famous, but he went on to 3DC in 1991 on the DOS platform, and the graphics were mainly by Rob Landeros, and he coded many games on the Amiga, including Spirit of the Excalibur. He did the graphics for that in 1990, and Rob Landeros went on to famously create the graphics, and he designed and produced The Seventh Guest in 1993, so that was his baby, The Seventh Guest. Everybody's heard of that. And the other graphics were created with Jeff Hybers, and he worked with Cinemaware on It Came From the Desert and Wings. The music was created by Bill Williams, and he created the fabulous Alley Cat on the DOS platform in 1983. And he moved on to Mind Walker, which we may or may not have reviewed in 1986. He created and coded that from scratch. So it's surprising that he only coded the music, of all things, in this particular game. The game took 2 years to develop on all those different platforms, the Apple, the Atari, the Amiga, the DOS platforms, and it also got a recent revival on the iOS as well, so you can play this on multiple platforms, and with modern graphics you can see how this went on to influence games like LA Noire. And this is Chicago, and we're trying to find out information from, looks like paper boys on the street who might have some information for us. We can bribe them, we can find out what's going on through them, we can hopefully get some information on this south sider guy that we're supposed to be taking on. But sometimes these cutscenes lead nowhere, and it's just information which helps us pad out the movie. And the movie can take anywhere between 30 minutes and maybe an hour, depending on how you play it, and whether you play it cautiously or you go in all guns blazing. So here we go again. What do we do? Do we get them? Do we play it safe? Or we got trouble enough? Sometimes avoiding trouble in this game means you don't lose as many guys on wild goose chases, and we get on with the main job. So it's best to play the tough guy, but also the smart guy as well. Sometimes not wading into trouble is the best thing to do, and sometimes avoiding this stuff comes down to sometimes pure luck. So what do? I've selected Better Move, Sweet as Candy and Just as Bad. Okay, let's get 'em. Sometimes innocent characters can even make a difference, and if this guy runs off and talks turkey with the other bosses and trades information, then obviously he's not a great guy to have around. So sometimes these choices aren't for the better, and I've chosen to employ the guy thinking he's going to be a new protege, but that can only mean one thing: he'll probably take us down eventually. So we've moved on to a new scenario. Some of the scenarios are slightly disappointing, and firing at a doorknob is very disappointing because we could have had a shoot 'em up, and the shoot 'em up is basically that screen that we've already seen already, the shooting gallery and the bomb level. So there aren't too many action scenes in this game to spice things up, not like Wings, we have to take control of a plane and fly it around in real time and do strafing runs and bombing runs. And so even Defender of the Crown had us blasting away at guys, battling away in castles and that kind of thing. So it isn't high on the action front, it isn't really high on the income development front either, because you can see there is a limited number of things we can change. We've got $500,000 in the bank, so that means we can have plenty guys, we can bribe everybody, and as long as we keep Lola sweet, which I haven't managed to do, then the game should be in our palms from now on. That is, unless we try to take on the south side, and that is precisely hopefully what we're trying to do, because that's the only thing else that we can do on this screen is click on that south side. So that will hopefully end the movie. Is it the big payoff? Take it easy. No, I'm actually deciding not to do it at the moment. Maybe we can get some intel on this guy and pin something on him. But if that means that he blows off some steam on us and wipes out a few of our guys. So now that I've tipped off the enemy to our plans to attack, let's go through those scores. And despite not having much action, it's basically a talk 'em up, and even the magazines gave this a really high score considering there isn't much on offer, but there is some great graphics and there is some music and some animation. So just like the Three Stooges, it boils down to those mini games. So the lowest score came from Ace magazine, who gave this 70%. The current Lemon Amiga score is 78, and Commodore user gave this 80%. The Games Machine gave this 80%. Dato magazine gave this 82, and CMVG gave this round about 92%, which means that King of Chicago gets an average score of 8 out of 10. Gun it, peepers, this is it now. We're going for the final scenario, and guess what it is? Yes, it's lobbing a bomb, and as long as we get one bomb right, which I haven't done, I've thrown it into the sky, but if I had done, then that would have been the end of the game. But having not done that, maybe I'll get another try, but that's usually curtains for me, and I'll probably end up in the morgue. So let's see what happens. Somebody was so stupid, yeah, Pinky, that's our mother. Cry, 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 that means we've been shot. So, never mind, that's another game over. That means we don't get high score, we simply get the end credits. And director, producer and coder Doug Sharp is there. and you can see executive producers, and John Cutter also helped with the manual and the in-game manual, things like that. So the screenplay and everything else written Doug Sharp and Paul Walsh. So it's great that it comes up with these end credits and makes it feel like a movie. I wish there was some more substance to it, and maybe even some joystick controlled action. But as far as the story goes, once you've played it a few times, it's not that difficult, and there isn't really too much to bring the player back, even though all of the story is different. So you can see animation effects, Drawmation by Doug Sharp. So thank you for viewing this play guide and hopefully a review to King of Chicago. Hope to see you again in another one at some point sometime soon. Thank you.